that is cleaned and purified for residues from everything, from plants and animals or whatever, is cleaned by the plant through its root system. The air is purified by it because it takes up all kinds of dust, it takes up CO2, it binds it and releases CO2. And you take all kind of dust and chemicals on all this out. And it's the same process that goes from the sun, that it actually, if the plant is establishing by the establishment of the carbon, it's establishing the balance, and it's the forests from the perm area where it was like the globe seems to today to go to a hold. I mean, the oceans start to go to a hold and things like that. And then there were too much CO2, probably from volcanoes and things like that. It was very humid, and it was very high temperature. And what happened was that they arose huge forests. I mean, enormous forests just before the dinosaurs came around. And when they fell down and died, it get colder and things like that because the CO2 was taken out at that time. It created all the coal mines. We have all the oil. We have all the natural gas we have. So that's all part of that circle, and that's how we used to explain on our courses that permaculture works, you know. And that's what we have to relate ourselves to. If we don't, I mean, we can talk about a lot of stuff around, but we can see if some of these processes, ecological processes, stops, then we have to do some of this. You know, therefore we are not, I mean, they're discussing in the Bella Center, they're discussing all about how many degrees, you know, how much ppm, how much, what's related to what's about the sea on Greenland and all this stuff, what's happening in the oceans. What we do, we look at, in our places, how does it work with the soil? How does it work with the water? I mean, what we relate ourselves to as permaculturists is that on Maldivian islands, you know, people are now walking around in their gardens, you know, with water up to their ankles. That we have to relate to. How do we manage that? How come that this glacier tsunamis in Nepal is rushing down the valleys, people have to move away? What are we going to do there? What are we going to do in the deserts? How the desertification, how it comes around. And that's, so we take local analysis on the places where we are, and then we have to look into how is that relate to plant system. And that's often trees, and that's often trees for the great processes for this. And then it's and that I'm having a lecture the other day about the 10,000 trees, who is regarding this one. What we're doing here, as we say, that we always in permaculture, we look, and that is relation to this sectorial system. We are on a place, we always on a place, all of us. And therefore we have to see what is this place. And on this place where you are, whatever it's in an apartment in the town, or it's out in the desert, or in the garden, or wherever it's on a farm, wherever you are, then you make this ecological analysis. You see, how does it work? How can I implement it? How come, what do I lack? What do I need? And after that, you can see in the place, it's often your house. We work with a zoning system, zone 0. Then we can see that here we're not able to collect enough soil so we can grow our food. We don't have enough water. We wanted some more sun, and we want something for that. So we have to get outside, and we call it zone 1. It's probably outside the house. Maybe on the house you can put up some plant system for repairing that. Then outside the house you can put some more. It goes even for blocks into towns. We have made for this area here further down. You will see on our exhibition here, you will see that we have made a calculation about how we can manage totally to get CO2 neutral status in an area like this one here. We have made the calculations. Right? You can see it in the exhibition at the permaculture scene, permaculture stand. Then we are here in the zone 1. We even are not able to provide. We have some waste management too to do. So it makes out and fill up that. So we create a new zone 2, which provide us with even more. And it all had to be produced by plant systems. I mean, it's the plant systems who bring us in control of the situation all the time. It's a plant system who is establishing these resources, where we can draw from and how we can do it. So therefore, it's up here that we are able to manage that, and we work with up to zone 5 in permaculture, and that's in different kinds. And in towns, with the projects we are working with in this area here in the city, we can work with zone 0, the houses. We have zone 1 inside the blocks, often zone 1 here, zone 0 the house, zone 1. Then we have parks and areas where we can zone 2 systems. But then we have to zone 3, which often implies, animals, bigger animals, broader fields, plantations for fruit and nuts and things like that. And then we have zone 4, which are resources where we get timber, where we get firewood and things like that. And then we have the zone 5, which often is a wild zone, it's a preserved zone. We have to have resource bases outside where we are not manipulating. In all the other zones, we do manipulation, tough manipulation. We put in plants we want to, we take away the other one we don't want to, we take away pests, we take away animals we don't like in there, and we manage back and forth between the zones here. But there has to be an area out here which we deliberately put out of our control ourselves. And that's the way we work, and that's therefore we say we are the real grassroots. I mean, we are rooted like grass in our area. We don't move around. We have to use the circumstances, the principles which are giving us where we are. We can move, but the best thing is to do where you are. You always have, the Maldivian people have now to. I'm sure they have to move now. But they already have agreements about how they move to Australia. They move into the deserts there, and they start establishing this system, plant systems. And permaculturists in Australia have a long tradition. It was the first place that they actually forestated deserts. So they know how to forestate deserts, So they can do that, and they can make school for the Maldivian people for doing that. But elsewhere in the world, the important thing is that we rooted ourselves, we stay ourselves, we do projects where we are. And that's why we have done projects here in Vesterbro, because I live here. That's my basis for doing projects, and that's what I want. And that's why we have projects when we have some of the inner zones in the city, but then when you can go outside and relate yourself to a farm. Probably a lot of you know this urban land system. This is about you have relation to a farm outside that brings the stuff into the town and things like that. But that's the system how we work with it. Yeah, and that makes us, and that does not make us, I mean, the activist movements, who a lot of us is a part of too. Here, the activist movements who, as I have told you, not by themselves, I don't believe that they by themselves are able to change the society, because they are part of it. They're actually part of the structure the societies used to react. The society know, these communities that we have built up, know how to manage sectorized systems. They know how to put them in. That's how they live. That's how we have done what we have done. The most cases is don't even get more militarized. I mean, I don't know how many armored cars the Danish police have bought for this event here. It's a lot. And they have bought water cannons too, you know. Water with tear gas inside it, you know. And they just say they don't want, they only want it for fire. Well, I don't know why they're able to put tear gas into the water at the same time. But they know how to cope with this. They know how to manage that. We have cages. There are, I don't know, 300 to 400 people can be put into cages. The cage, you know, like in zoos, you know, a little outside the town here, if people start to do it. So they know how to do that. They know how to manipulate that. The other thing here, we have another question. I mean, they are not able to, projects like this are around, and they have difficulties, and administrative difficulties. We have problems with getting them financed. People have to, and on the global scale, if we have the land issue here, we are not able to, we have to have some access to some land to grow plants, you know, and that's one of the biggest issues, you know. But they have, last year I had a course, a permaculture course in Brazil, and they are using this Iberian land model. And that means that land that is not used can be occupied. You can move into it, and if you establish some kind of a shelter and you start doing your food, then the owner is not allowed to kick you out. And then they start negotiating. It's a model that from old Spain, that was written from Spain and Portugal, and was transported into South America. And they're doing, I was teaching this land as people over there, and they have to fight for it, they have to negotiate for it, they have to, but the landowner, if he could not prove that he was going to use his land for something, he could not just kick them out. And I was teaching that. I had hoped that some of them would have come here. I had invited some of those people up here, but they're just the group that I was running a course for over there now got a big threat on them. Just one from the landowner, that he had put gangsters on them and tried to shoot them out, you know, and the other hand that that the municipality they were negotiating with to get some protection, you know, has stopped negotiating. So this is a difficult case, but they are not just, it is a possibility. And I think that mechanisms like this should be, I mean, if we get more and more marginalized land, more and more land that is not proper for the big international capitalist movement to use, so that it's just there, you know, and therefore if we should have a possibility to try to use this mechanism and build it into some of the negotiations, United Nations negotiations, that should be a way to work. People should be allowed to have land. So, and at the same time, it breaks the sectoral system. I mean, here, on any level here, in any of the zones here, we break the sectoral system. Here we make a total analysis, an ecological analysis, cross-sectorial analysis on our house. That's the first one. Then we widen it out to our house and garden, then we widen it out to even more.